It's going to be some good stuff. One of the most common things that people ask me to lecture on is case acceptance and treatment planning. And I always hesitate to talk about this stuff because in my heart, I believe that case acceptance and treatment planning has so much to do with the other stuff I already talk about, which is actually building rapport and patient experience, because in my opinion, the ability to close a case and the secret to increasing treatment plan acceptance starts at the very first phone call. So if you don't have systems in place for handling that phone call correctly, and there's not a great patient experience, all 8 steps, all 8 touches that the patient could potentially be in contact with your practice, you're probably not going to close a high percentage of patients. You know, if you think about it, what we have to do when we get a new patient in is they call on the phone, either from a mailer or a referral or whatever. They come into our office. We answer the phone, we handle it a certain way. We give them a confirmation call, we handle it a certain way. They walk into the office, we handle it a certain way. They are greeted in the reception area, walked back to the operatory, sat in the operatory, we talk to them a certain way. The doctor is introduced a certain way. The doctor talks to them a certain way. The treatment plan is given a certain way. Inside an hour, we're either delivering a $10,000 treatment plan, or a $2,000 treatment plan, or a $50,000 treatment plan, with how much total exposure? Maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Where's the trust coming from? And a lot of people will say, I gotta get this presented, I gotta get this accepted. And let's be reasonable, guys. I don't want to say yes to a $15,000, $10,000, $5,000 treatment plan to somebody I met 20 minutes ago. I don't know anything about you. So with case acceptance, it is all about patient experience. It's all about your ability to build rapport, and it's about being flexible too. Because if they don't want the $15,000 treatment plan, but somewhere on there, there's a buccal filling, maybe you have to audition. Maybe it's okay to start with that buccal filling or that facial filling that's been bothering them forever instead of an entire quadrant. And I know this is contrary to what some of you guys think, but I think in the long term, I think about the $45,000 lifetime patient value, which is in my book, you can look it up. And I believe if you can sell a buccal filling on tooth number 8, you have a greater chance of reaching that $45,000 and not turning them off and have them go shopping to somebody that might have had a cuter receptionist or a little bit better chairside manner. So my opinion is that we put way too much pressure on ourselves to close that case that day, and we don't allow the patient to grow in trust with the practice. Just my opinion. So let's talk about some ways that we can do that, okay? So did you know? Did you know that according to the CDC, well, I just stole my thunder because that was a double click. According to the CDC, what percentage of Americans are overweight? Oh, gosh, you're so good. 69%. It's staggering. Okay, so 69%. 69% of Americans are overweight. What percent of Americans are obese? 35%. You guys are reading ahead. 35%. Did you know? According to, come on now. According to ABC News, how many dieters are there in the United States? 100 million, that's right. There's 100 million dieters in the United States. How much did they spend on weight loss in 2014? $20 billion. $20 billion. That's a big number. 100 million people paid $20 billion on weight loss products and weight loss diets and weight loss related activities. I have something not so sexy to say about losing weight. If you eat more leafy greens, less sugar, less refined carbohydrates, drink more water, and get more activity, you will lose weight. It's not sexy, but everybody kind of knows that. But this number is still 20 billion. Because why? Not just in the United States, everybody is looking for a magic pill because it sounds so easy. If I take this pill, it's going to increase my metabolism. I might be sweating a little bit at night, and then I'm going to put this thing around my waist, and I'm going to lose 3 inches in 18 hours because it says. And I will pay $39.95 for that because I get an extra one for free and this bottle of pills. Right? It's sexy. If it worked, that would be awesome. But that's not the way the world works. The way the world works is leafy greens and staying away from refined carbohydrates and reducing the amount of sugar that you eat, drinking more water, and getting more activity is what you need to do. That is a lot harder than a pill and a band around our waist. But the band around the waist sells. So what's my point? That's my whole point. That's it. Now, my point is what sexy sells. So there are lots of people requesting me to talk about treatment planning and case acceptance, and there are a lot of people, because people are expecting some sort of magic pill, right? And people are selling a lot of magic pills. If you go on the internet that says patient acceptance, patient treatment planning, if you go on YouTube and look for videos on it, you'll find them. Because people are obsessed with looking for the easy way to do it. And I'm telling you, and this is the reason I don't want to give this lecture, there's no sexy, easy way to do it. It starts with the very first phone call. It starts with getting your entire staff on board. It starts with the lifetime patient experience over 20 years, so you can capture $45,000 lifetime patient experience from every single person and not offend them and get them to refer their friends and family. That's it. Now I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, but that's the bottom line, guys. That's the sad truth. It ain't sexy, but just like getting more exercise, that's what's going to get you there. So the mechanics versus a culture. What we need to adopt is a culture. And you guys are probably more attracted to the mechanics that we talked about this weekend rather than the cultural stuff, the foundational stuff. And I say this every time I address an audience. The foundational stuff is not as sexy. And we're left brain, type A personalities. We don't want to talk about that stuff. Yeah. Okay, Mark, after I get the mission, vision, and core values done, then what do I do? Well, just get that done first. Get it done with your staff, in collaboration with them. Make it real. And then we'll talk about plugging in these systems into that blueprint and getting that going for you, okay? So the culture philosophy, in our Magic Pill Instant Gratification Society, many of us are looking for a single, easy solution to our most pressing problems. As we know, case acceptance has more to do with relationships, rapport, patient experience than the mechanics of the treatment plan presentation. What you do when you get them in the room and you've determined what they need, the way you say it, whether you're using a flip chart or Casey on Dentrix, or explaining it to them out loud, or whether it's in a conference room, or whether it's in the operatory, whether it's at the front desk, that is less important than the non-sexy stuff, the culture stuff.